Good afternoon, my Year 11 friends. This is the final story from our holiday homework, A Strange Crop, Nondum Tamen Jason. However, Jason had not yet finished his totum opus, his whole task. Imperavit enim, for Aeetes had ordered him to, notice the imperaverat, ordering, followed by plus the subjunctive I would be guessing, and sure enough we can see the here, there, and then we can see the subjunctive there. For Aeetes had ordered him to kill the men having been armed. Armatos there is a perfect passive participle, we would just call it the armed men. For Aeetes ordered him to kill the armed men, qui relative pronoun, who, gignerentor, who were growing out from the teeth. So, postquam, igitor. After, therefore, he scattered all the teeth into the field. Notice there that dentis has an is ending. Is is an alternative es for third declension nouns. I think we mentioned that towards the end of term. Jason, lassitudine ex animatus. Unconscious, lassitudine, with weariness, tradidit se, handed himself over, quieti, to rest. That's going to come up a little bit when we do more of the Odyssey, which I'm rather looking forward to when we do more of the Odyssey. Translations, handing himself over to rest. Rest actually in sleep in the Odyssey and in myth forms very important, I suppose, an important idea of regeneration, and also, as much as anything, just a break between different chapters or different books of an epic narrative. But the idea of birth and rebirth and a new sort of character evolving dum, while those men, gignerentor, were growing. Paukas horas, time how long accusative. For a few hours, dormiebat, he was sleeping sub. Towards evening, however, excitatus, having been awoken by suddenly from his sleep, he cognovit, he realized. As soon as I see a realizing, then I'm looking for an accusative infinitive. Sure enough, I can find one in rem ita ewenise. He realized the event ewenise to have turned out ut praedictum. He realized that the event had turned out as it had been predicted. So suddenly, having been woken up from his dream, he cognovit, he realized the event to have turned out, accusative infinitive indirect statement, as it had been predicted. Nam, for in all the parts of the field, where are we? Sorry, for in all parts of the field, men, oriebantor, were rising from the ground, ingenti magnitudine corporis, literally with a huge size of body, so huge in the size of their body, armati, armed with gladies, armed with swords, and with helmets, in an amazing fashion. Hoc cognito, having realized this, ablative absolute, hoc cognito, ablative absolute, having realized this, with this thing having been realized, Jason, putabat, was thinking that the concilium, that the plan, quod, which Medea had given, non omitendum esse, was not to be forgotten, was not to be ignored. So, having realized this ablative absolute, Jason was thinking that the concilium, quod, which Medea had given, was not to be ignored. Saxum igitur ingens. Therefore, he conjectured, he hurled a great rock, ita, enim Medea, for Medea had ordered it in this way, into the middle of the men. Illi, they, concurrerent, ran together from all directions to that place, et, and when, quisque, each was wellet, I'm sorry, I've completely lost my place, and when each was wanting that rock for themselves, nescio, I know not why, for some reason I know not why, and when each was wanting for himself that rock, cor nescio, I know not why. That's actually slightly different to the reason why I was stumbling and hesitating, I apologise there, is that I think that's different to the version that you might have on SPQR, so it depends where you're looking at. There are a couple of different versions of the same fabula. So they ran together from all sides to that place, and when each wanted, or since each wanted for himself that rock, I know not why, I do not know why, wanted to have for himself that rock, I do not know why, a great argument, orta est, arose. Mox, soon, with their gladiis strictis, with their swords having been drawn. Let's not translate it in that way. I've been advising us to try and have the slightly more sort of modern, fluent, if you will, translation. So soon having drawn their swords, they began to fight amongst themselves. And cum hoc, when plurimi, very many, superlative adjective there, and when very many, by this manner, occiescent, had been killed, reliqui, the remainder, confecti, having been finished off with wounds, the remainder, having been done in with wounds, were killed by Jason, nulli negotio, with no effort. So the remainder, finished off with wounds, were killed by Jason, perfect passive verb there, infecti sunt, with no effort. Nothing too difficult there. Probably the hardest bit was the nam bit, I reckon, in the middle. That nam, for in all the parts of the field, the men. So really important, again, to look at all the different endings. So you've got to go for, find yourself, oriate your main verb, orie bantor, passive. So let's look for a nominative subject, weary, because it's a second declension noun. So for the men were growing up in all the parts of the field. Ingenti, adjective of quality, huge, literally with huge size of the body. Armati, armed with swords and helmets, and amazing in appearance, in an amazing manner from the ground. Anyway, hope you're having a lovely break, and I'll see you all next week. All the best.